headquarters of Ramsey Solutions. It's the Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Thank you for joining us, America. Ken Coleman, #1 best-selling author of the book Paycheck to Purpose and host of the Ken Coleman Show. He talks about your professional growth, including where you work, how you work, and all about career stuff. He's going to be here to help me today answer your questions. The phone number is 888-825-5225. You jump in and we'll talk. Joy starts Rapid City, South Dakota off. Hi, Joy. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good. How can I help?
My husband and I are 69 and 70 years old. We retired 2 and 3 years ago, but we still work, what we call retirement jobs. We just don't have a very big net worth at all, and we don't mind keep working our retirement jobs, but I guess I'm wondering, what more can we do? I'll tell you, we have a traditional IRA, we have 2 Roth IRAs, and we have an annuity.
And how much is in all of that if you totaled it up?
About 140, and that's all.
140,000. Okay.
Yes, we do not own a home. We did our stupid 10 years ago, and so we do not have a home, and I don't know. I guess I'm just really wanting to see these figures move up.
Okay. And obviously you've got Social Security coming in.
We do live on Social Security.
And how much is that a month? That's how much?
Oh, okay. I bring in $1,333, and my husband brings in only about $300 in Social Security because he has a foreign pension, and because of
so
that,
$1,600. And how much is his foreign pension?
Let me see. He brings in, I have it right here, to $3,300 a month, depending on the dollar, ratio, of course.
What the conversion rate is. Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So you got $5,000 a month to live on. What does it take you to live?
We live on probably, 4,500, maybe just 4,000 sometimes.
Well, you got that much coming in. You got 5,000 coming in.
Yes.
And then you're working on top of that.
Yes.
Okay. So, I mean, the good news is you have a sustainable situation. You're not going to be hungry, or the lights aren't going to get cut off, right?
That is correct.
You're probably not going to spend summers in the Mediterranean, though.
No.
Okay.
We are very carefully saved if we have to take a family trip or something like that.
Yeah.
We save. So
you don't have a lot of margin,
steps.
but it's good news is you're not hungry. When you started this out, I was afraid you were hungry. Okay, good. So
no.
So what is it you're trying to accomplish that you're not accomplishing now? Let me understand.
I just know that $140,000 in retirement is not enough.
Agreed.
For one person, let alone 2.
Agreed. I'd love for you to have $1,140,000. But you don't. So
at our ages, we're not going to get
I got that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I'd love for you to, but the reality is this is where we are. And so the work that you guys are doing is just adding to your $5,000 a month income and gives you a little bit of lifestyle bump and the ability to do a few odds and ends without cashing in the nest egg to keep going, correct?
That's right. That's right.
I don't, what is the 140 invested in? It's in a bunch of different things. It's Roth and traditional and annuity. And then how much of it's annuity?
6,800.
6,000 is all. Oh, good. Okay. All right. So most of this.
68,000.
Oh, 68,000. Oh, crap. Okay. So, all right, here's what the only thing I can tell you is that you might reorganize and shuffle the deck on the 140,000 and get it invested in some good mutual funds and get it working a little bit harder. Okay? But let's say it's earning 10%, or let's say it could earn 10%, that's $14,000, and right now it's only earning $5,000, that's $7,000 a year. So we're only talking about $500 a month difference, even if you get it working a lot harder. So it's not going to be it's not going to be a massive change in your life if we get the 140 invested perfectly, as opposed to the way it is, because the 68,000 in the annuity probably sucks. It's probably doing poorly. I don't know exactly what you got, but most likely that's a bad product. Some stupid insurance person sold you that instead of a real investment person. So because they can't sell real investments, so they act like they're investment people, although they're actually insurance people, and they're not licensed and qualified to sell investments, so they sell annuities under the heading of their life insurance license because they're not licensed to sell investments, for those of you out there. Okay, now, I mean, it's not just me calling them stupid, although that does completely apply to that situation. So, all right, so here's what I want you to do. Go to RamseySolutions.com and click on our SmartVestor Pro and sit down with them. And Ken, that's going to help, because at least then you'll know what you've got is just working as hard as it can.
Yeah, and we sit in this situation, practically speaking, Joy, this is about stacking cash. You're just going to have to stack cash. The investment opportunity is
maybe their retirement jobs could be better. Maybe they can make more money at their retirement jobs.
I think so. Here's where I go. My mind goes to, are there Walmarts or
that's what I call a retirement job. Instead, I would like to see them be self-employed and go make like $50,000. Because I got to tell you, man, if I was broke, I'm entrepreneurial enough. I would just start something, even if I'm 69.
I was thinking that, although I would say low risk. Let's do some low capital self-employment.
We're not putting out the 140 anything to open a business.
Yeah,
but I mean, let's get some kind of something.
Let's say he's
going.
got a trade skill, right? So if he has a trade skill at 70, now my father-in-law, I'll give you a real example, is 74. Very healthy though, but he is a former custom home builder, and he's retired, and he is working more than he could possibly want to work, but he's making such good money doing small renovations, fixing a kitchen here, doing a bathroom here in Williamson County, where we've got plenty of money and people have got time and they can spend it. And so if I had a trade skill at that age, I would absolutely be doing that instead of working for a Walmart, because to your point, you're going to go premium rate for your time. We're talking about an hourly rate.
Maximize what you can make
and stack cash.
And don't just say, well, retirement job means awful.
I agree.
Yeah, minimum wage.
Or if you have a skill, at this point, listen, in the economy,
or start something.
That's what I mean by starting something off of a skill. So
I see.
In my father-in-law's case, he started his own home renovation business, and he's not doing full rebuilds, but he's doing a lot of stuff.
And he's not swinging a hammer. He's subbing it.
He's got a crew.
He's subbing it. Yeah. Still being a GC in that sense.
That's exactly right.
That's the way you do it. So there's a lot of stuff. So Joy, let's two things. One is, what can we do to get your income up? Better, quote, retirement jobs, unquote, and get with the SmartVestor Pro, and let's see if they can help you get that 140 working a lot harder. Those two things together, and you guys stay on a tight budget, and I think you're going to be okay. But I don't think there's going to be anything here that adds $1 million to this issue.
Yeah.
This is the Ramsey Show. Hey guys, Ramsey Solutions started small and grew fast. Because of that rapid growth, there were times when our systems slowed us down. That's why we switched to NetSuite. It works for us and it'll help your business too. Whether you're starting on a card table like I did, or you're well on your way to becoming a multi-million-dollar company, NetSuite can scale with you and help you communicate and plan better. Because you know your day-to-day up and down and sideways, but accounting, analytics, and supply chain are on another level. So maybe you're just not tech savvy. That can be okay. NetSuite will help at your speed and whatever your situation. More than 37,000 companies use NetSuite to know their numbers and their business better. So check out NetSuite today and find out how they can help you become the business you want to be 5 or 30 years from now. And right now, you can download NetSuite's free KPI checklist designed to give you consistently excellent performance at netsuite.com/Ramsey. That's netsuite.com/Ramsey. Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. So, those of you that are not as old as Ken and me, you're not old like us. You're youngsters, and you're out there watching us on the YouTubes and all that kind of stuff, right? I want you to go back and listen to that last call. So if you're 27 instead of 67, here's what I can tell you. If you save $100 a month from age 25 to age 65 in a series of decent growth stock mutual funds that perform as the market has performed for the past 100 plus years, if they have normal historic values from age 25 to age 65, $100 a month is $1,176,000 in your retirement. And that way, you're not in the same situation that sweet lady was in.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
And so you're not having to worry about your, in air quotes, retirement job. And so I have another friend, Ken, who's way on the other end of the spectrum, and his father-in-law is their age, or a little bit older than them. He's approaching 80, and he was he became he's probably legitimately a billionaire.
Wow.
And starting from nothing, he was a poor kid. He grew up poor, and his goal was to give it all away before he died to ministries around the world. And my friend is married into that family and sits on the board with the rest of the family as they're giving this money away. The old man's still alive, and he has just about succeeded giving it all away.
Wow. I need to get in touch with him pretty quick.
That's how do you get on this list?
I just came up with an idea for a ministry.
It's a non-profit ministry, Ken.
I know. I got a ministry idea right now.
Yeah, it's not your car. It's not the next car you wanted.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, that's
beautiful.
These are all ends of the spectrum here.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
$100 a month is $1 million. Living on Social Security and a retirement job, or trying your best before you die to give away $1 billion.
Yeah. That's amazing.
These are three ends of the spectrum. I mean, two in middle and the two ends of the spectrum. These are the things, if you're a youngster out there, you could be thinking about that, I'm saying.
There's a lady out on the front row of the lobby that just is trying to wrap her brain around giving away $1 billion. Man, that's a lot of money, isn't it?
1,000 million.
Yeah.
That means you could take 1,000 different ministries and give them $1 million.
That's amazing.
And they've done more than that because it's continued to grow through the years.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's not just been one time. It wasn't a one-time thing. They've been systematically for 30 years giving it away.
That puts a real shine on give like no one else.
Yeah.
Like you've been saying for a long time. That's pretty wild.
And this guy was not a trust fund. I mean, he started from nothing.
It all.
Started from nothing.
Yeah.
Andrew is in Minneapolis. Hi, Andrew. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Thanks for taking my call.
Good. How can we help? Almost answered it right.
It's all good. It happens.
It's like automatic of 30 years.
He's only said it 2 billion times. You have to forgive him.
You've got that experience. It's all good. So my question is basically, if you were trying to start over, I had a small business of mine. Wasn't technically legitimate, but I tried when I was about 19. And it fell through, and then a whole lot of life came apart for a few years, and I'm getting myself back together. I'm in a corporate job now as a mechanic, and I wanted to open my own restoration shop, and originally it was actually supposed to be a nonprofit as well. So my question to you is kind of how
it actually was. That's why it closed, yeah.
Well, yeah, you're not wrong. My question to you is, what might restarting that look like, or how would you do it debt-free starting at 28 years old?
So fixing cars just for everyday people?
Ideally, no. I can, but anymore, that's getting into just changing parts.
So describe what you want to do.
You want to do frame up restros on cool cars?
frame-up restorations or customs where I'm actually changing things and turning them into something better than what they were.
Turn them into rods. Yeah.
How much equipment would you need if you were going to start today? Do you have the equipment, or could you rent it as a part of the job? Could you rent the rest?
Some of it.
Right.
Potentially. So the biggest obstacle that I don't have is a space to do it in.
All right. Could you, if I said that you had to define space in the next week to be able to do a restoration for Dave, could you find the space? If I made you answer it right now. You don't know.
Realistically, no.
I bet you could find a space. Don't you think if you
It's
really
a
had
freaking
to?
garage.
Yeah.
I have a small garage, but I've had a lot of obstacles come up with that. My realtor or my landlord's not letting me upgrade any electrical.
I think
in
you're
it
missing the
breakers.
point. You're coming up with all the reasons why
What do
you
you
can't
make?
find space.
Say again?
How much do you make?
I'm around 70, but I have a lot of debt I have a lot of just student debt, nothing else that I've been working on for a while now.
Okay. And do you have anybody that might be your first customer in mind?
I've tried one or two. Once I actually give them a proper cost, they tend to step away. So I haven't found the right people yet.
So the answer is no.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we don't go rent a garage when we're renting a house and start this. But I think how much debt do you have?
I've cut it all the way from $100,000 down to about 30 in the course of 3 or 4 years.
Way to go. Okay. All right. I think if you finish that up and you talk about renting a garage for $400 or $500 a month somewhere, because location does not matter other than they can't steal your tools every night.
Yep.
But if you can lock it up, that's all that matters, right? And so, so cheap, and simultaneously while I'm trying to find that, and I want to rent it an old gas station or something like that. They don't even make those anymore. But the any kind of a thing that had a bay in it. But before I actually start writing checks for that, I actually want some customers, doesn't he, Ken?
Yeah, you got to get it started. And if I'm you, okay, this is how we answer these questions. If I'm you, I'm now starting to stick my nose back in the industry, local guys that are doing cars. Here's what I know. I know for a fact in just about every city in America where you want to get a car restored, there's a long line. And you got to get on the list. And the reason that is because there's just not enough hands to do the work, which tells me that there are several shops around you, Andrew, that if we looked hard enough, if you and I got in the car today and drove around, I think I could get you a freelance job before the day was over. And so I'd start there. I'd start freelancing, just kind of, hey, you need me for 10, 15 hours a week. I got a day job.
As a side.
On the side. Yeah. I got a day job.
Nights and weekends.
And that's going to help you pay this debt off. So we got two things. We got two birds with one stone here. Extra money to pay down the $30,000 quick. I really believe you could do that within a year if you really got hustling. All right?
Yeah.
And then the second thing is I'm back in the industry.
Or still.
I'm meeting people. I'm getting paid to get reconnected in the industry. And that's when I start finding out about more people. Well, I can't take this job, but we would never take this job because it's too small. But for you, a $10,000 job is great. And you'll jump on that and you do it on the side. So I would build the business up on the side, rent the equipment, do not pay cash for any equipment. Rent anything you need as a part of the job itself.
The big stuff. Yeah.
That's right, the big stuff. And I think I would just slowly start to stack cash. And then here's what I tell everybody. How do we go from day job to that side job being the dream job? In your case, if you're making $70,000, I want to have $70,000 in the bank. Ideally, I'd want 12 months. You could go as low as 6 months of that, which is 35, before I ever walked away from the day job. And that's just me playing it safe, because this is why, Dave, I'd hate for somebody to have this massive pressure to feed themselves right away. I want some cushion there so that you can really focus on doing the job and growing the business.
This is The Ramsey Show. You know, it doesn't take a degree in statistics to realize that this one stinks. 93% of undergraduate private student loans are co-signed. So when you're delinquent and drowning in private student loan debt, mom or dad or Uncle Joe is stuck in that financial stress along with you. But there is a way out. Why Refi? Why Refi offers a custom refinancing option with a fixed rate loan based on your ability to pay. And the average interest rate Why Refi offers is 3.9%, which can significantly reduce your monthly payment and decrease your total cost. Why Refi refinances your defaulted private student loans that other places won't touch. And I trust them to help you get out of debt. So don't be another statistic in the student loan swamp. Contact Why Refi at 844-2-RAMSEY or go to whyrefi.com/Ramsey. That's 844-2-RAMSEY or the letter Y, then REFY.com/Ramsey. Well, I don't know when you happen to be listening to this, but we're going to do something we don't usually do, and that's tell you the date. The date of this particular broadcast that you are hearing is April the 15th. It's the day that my net worth goes down because my government steals my money. You need to pay your fair share. Well, you should then, and shut up. 49% of Americans don't pay zero federal income tax, so don't talk to me about fair share, okay? I got your fair share.
It's not very fair.
Not fair at all. I can't breathe. Anyway, so I do a lot of whining and crying and cussing and you know, beat on people whose it's not their fault just for the fun of it this time of year, just because I'm generally in a bad mood when I sign these returns. And
did you see your good buddy Mark Cuban went public with his tax amount? I know you're not on the Twitter much anymore.
No, I'm not.
It's
on
not good
Twitter.
for blood pressure, but
how much did Mark pay?
$288 million, and he was putting it out there to say
that's how much he paid in taxes.
Yeah, then he revised it this morning and showed the note from his accountant. It was actually $278, and he was espousing the importance of paying your taxes as though we have an option. But it was a little political move, but nonetheless, that's not the point. He put it out there that's what his tax burden is.
He's saying he liked that?
He said, I'm happy to pay my share.
You know what? He could just send them some more.
That's what pay mine. If you want
to send them some more, you can, since you're dadgum happy, Mark.
Yeah.
Communist.
There you go.
Oh, my gosh.
I wanted your hot take on it, and boy, did you deliver. Thank you, Dave.
I love you,
Right
Mark.
on time.
I love you, Mark, but that was stupid. I got some friends that do stupid stuff.
We've all done it.
Oh, man.
Where no one's immune.
I can't.
Yeah, really excited to tell us all how much you paid.
Yeah, well, okay, James, so you found somebody else who's crying, right? All right, so this is going around the internets.
Where's all your money gone, Daddy?
Taxes. 9, 10, 11.
Playing Monopoly.
Fix my houses. It's okay. It's part of the game. It's not. It's not fun.
It's not fun to what?
It's the worst part of the game.
Oh, it's what?
Taxes.
I think the kid's on
Couldn't
something.
agree more. I got a little verklempt in the middle of that.
I'm thinking Monopoly's I got a tear in my eye watching Monopoly, too. It's just like...
Oh, man.
Well, just to remind you guys, if you're getting a tax refund, it is not time to celebrate because a tax refund simply means you paid in too much and they gave you your money back without any interest. That would not be something to celebrate. It's an interest-free savings account with the freaking federal government. So you didn't do something right if you got a tax refund. You did something wrong. because you had too much taken out of your check, and then they send it back to you. Santa Claus is not in charge of the IRS. He did not send the money. I know him. He doesn't go anywhere near Washington, D.C. Those people are all on the naughty list. So that's how this works, boys and girls. You don't get a refund unless you pay in too much. Let that sink in a second. All right, so now, if you haven't done your taxes, you got to get them done right now, of course, because they're due by midnight. So there's two ways to do it at Ramsey. We've got Ramsey Smart Tax software, which is very inexpensive. If you have a simple return, don't go to something like TurboTax or those guys, because really all they're doing is actually trying to sell you debt. They put you on the credit card list. They put you on their home equity loan list. They just start hammering your butt to put you in debt, and the add-on fees will get you. So Ramsey Smart Tax is just very simple, very inexpensive way. Boom, you file it. Like if you got a 1040 easy, you can do it in a few minutes with this. And it's very, very accurate, very well done, very well built out. And if you've got a complicated return, go to RamseySolutions.com/tax, and you can see our tax-endorsed local providers, and you can get a pro to do your return for you that we have done the due diligence on. And God knows it's complicated, so you got to have somebody who knows what they're doing if you have a complicated return. So you can get an ELP. And you're going to pay a professional to do that. And if you don't have a complicated return, just use the Ramsey Smart Tax software. Both of them are real easy to do. Those people that are members of Ramsey Trusted, of Ramsey Plus, and they're in Financial Peace University and all that stuff, they get Ramsey Smart Tax free. And so for a quick, easy return. So that's just one of the benefits of being in that thing. Henry's in Fort Lauderdale. Hi, Henry. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, how you doing, Dave?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So my question is, I did something very stupid last year. I went ahead and got a Tesla at 13%. My payments are $903 a month. And my wife and I didn't listen to my wife, and I did whatever I wanted to do. So now I'm stuck in this mess.
Man, that's like four dumb things. Tesla, 13%, $900, didn't listen to my wife. That's four dumb things.
Yeah. So my question is, we were thinking about getting a personal loan to pay the negative equity because I owe $43,000 on the car, but it's only worth about $19 to $20.
When did you buy it?
Last year, around March.
I wasn't aware they were depreciating that bad. I make fun of them all the time, but that's a lot. Did you roll negative equity into the deal?
About $5,000.
Okay. Where are you getting your number on what it's worth now? That sounds very low.
KB, what's KBB?
Yeah. Private sale or trade-in?
Trade-in. And it's because I use my car for work, so I'm putting a lot of miles every single day.
How many miles did you put on it in a year, honey?
About 30,000.
Okay.
It's at 65,000 right now.
Yeah, but trade-in is the lowest value you can get.
Yeah, I mean, private sale, but still it's not going to be like 5,000 or 6,000 higher probably. So you can get 25, 26 for it private sale, and you owe 48?
43,000.
43.
Yeah. And we have some money saved up.
How much?
About 15,000.
15?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'll cover it, won't it?
Well, I'm down, 25,000 negative.
That's if you try. No, you're 23. Not. I'm not going with a 19. I'm going with like a 26 private sale.
Okay.
And you owe 43. That's more than 15. It's 18. So yeah, but you still got to scratch. What's your household income?
80,000.
Okay. Yeah, I would use the majority of the savings, and I would sell it private sale, and I wouldn't panic. Sell it for. I mean, you can find somebody that loves those things, and get a private sale number for it, not a trade-in number, and then you may have to take out a small personal loan, $4,000 or $5,000. It sounds like, and then you got to figure out. Also got to figure out how to get a hoopty that you can drive as your penalty. What were you driving before this?
I was driving a Toyota hatchback. My wife told me to stay with it. I didn't listen.
How old was it? I mean, what was it worth?
It was about
$25,000. Where did that go?
Yeah. I traded it in for the Tesla.
Did you owe money on it?
and I rolled 5,000 negative equity on
Okay,
it.
that's right. You did say negative equity. Okay, all right.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So have you had enough fun with these cars that you can't afford? I mean,
No, I
buy
have
something
not.
cheap, dude, and get your butt straightened out, and then save up and become wealthy, and then get you a nice car. These things are wearing you
that's-
out. 5,000
my
here,
wife has been
10,
telling-
15,000 here. It's starting to turn into some money that you're losing.
Yeah. Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you 2 words you should practice over the next, I think, year and say it a lot, especially in light of this. It's yes, dear.
I agree completely.
Or you could substitute sweetheart if that works better. Yes, dear.
I agree, yes.
That's all I got for him.
Oh, and I got 3. Don't save the planet, or whatever. 4, whatever that is. Yeah. Oh gosh. Whew, 13% on a battery. Whew. You're killing me. Oh, I wish George was here. Wish Rachel was here to make fun of.
Yeah, cut this clip up and
They're
send it to
both,
George and
they're
Rachel.
both Tesla drivers, so we just love making fun of them just because it's fun. Oh man, I'm so sorry you got yourself into this, but yeah, you figured it out. There's 4 things you don't do: $900 car payments, 13%, Teslas, and listen to your wife. These are 4 things you don't do, right? And this is the Ramsey Show. Statistics show that half of Americans don't have enough life insurance, or they don't have any at all. I don't understand this, John. Why don't people want to take care of their family? They think they're going to die or something?
Well, I used to be one of those guys, I didn't even think about it. And one of my buddies said, hey, the only reason to not have life insurance is if you hate your wife and kids. And I immediately went and got term life insurance.
That's a gut punch.
And, you're telling me, and for decades, Dave, I've sat across people who've lost a spouse. They've lost somebody important to them.
Me
and
too.
They don't know what to do next.
Me
right?
too. I mean,
It's
you're going to
terrifying.
have a crisis here. And, you got 2 options while you're sitting and talking to a young widow. She's concerned about how she's going to invest all this money properly and not mess this up, or she's concerned how she's going to eat tomorrow.
That's exactly
These are the
right.
2 options.
And
take care of
term-
your dadgum family, man.
Term life insurance can replace income, pay off debts, cover funeral expenses, so your family can actually have the opportunity to just be sad.
Yeah.
To just miss you.
That's exactly what it's supposed to be. It's saying I love you to your family. Term life insurance. Jeff Zander and the team at Zander Insurance makes it easy and affordable. I've used them personally for 25 years. They're the only people I trust. Go to Zander.com or call 800-356-4282. Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host at 888-255-2225. We had a lot of fun at that last caller's expense. He was being kind to us to let us do that, but we also answered his question in the process. But I think it's probably good to take a second and just talk about, for our audience, we were joking about listening to your wife, but talk about the principle that's involved here. So when I went broke 35 years ago and lost everything, we had owned, I was buying and selling real estate. I was doing Flip This House before Chip and Joanna were born. And so, I've owned pieces of real estate that to this day, we're driving around Nashville and I'll tell Sharon, I'll say, we owned that house. She's like, I never knew it. I was doing deals, and my wife I wasn't hiding it from her. I just didn't ask. I was just running my business, doing deals, and she's with babies at home, and we just didn't talk about it. I was just doing it. And she didn't ask about the structure of the business, and I was doing whatever I wanted to do because I was a genius, not. And after we went broke, I was a baby Christian, just met God, and I started finding out that the Bible had principles of how to handle money, and they almost every one of them, they're not really mystical. They're all basically common sense things like Borrower slave to the lender, so stay out of debt. Don't build a tower without first counting the cost, so do a budget. Live on less than you make, because a foolish man devours all he has. So there's scripture that says live on less than you make, stay out of debt, save money. And the one of them I found is well, I can't call. Anyway, who can find, it's a proverb, who can find a virtuous wife, for her worth is far above rubies. Mm-hmm. The heart of her husband safely trusts her, and he will have no lack of gain. Mm-hmm. And I went, wow. Okay, there's a couple elements I like here. One is no lack of gain. I like that plan. And I can safely trust my wife. And she is virtuous. Now, part of being virtuous is you don't take that particular Bible scripture and decide you're the Holy Spirit, wives. And so, you're not the Holy Spirit. And so virtuous is I might be wrong. Virtuous is I've got an idea, I've got an opinion. In my wife's case, she's from the hills of East Tennessee. She gets a feeling. And so it's a 7-syllable word. And it's a feeling. And if she gets a feeling about something and I go against that, it costs me a minimum of $10,000 every time I do it, because her feeling is never off. It's spooky. Now, she has a degree in child development, home ec, but she has insight into multi-million-dollar business deals based on this feeling.
Yeah.
And so Proverbs 31. And so, And those of us have been married, I've been married 43 years, so those of us have been married a while, we know that. And is she perfect? No, she's not perfect, and sometimes she's just straight up wrong. But she's virtuous about it. I mean, she very seldom is a butt about it. And so I learned from that to never again make major financial decisions without having not just her permission, but her alignment and agreement that there was no bad feeling about it. And so consequently now, our net worth has returned hundreds of times over since then, all those years later. I mean, these buildings we're sitting in are worth $500 or $600 million, and they're paid for. So, I mean, you can blame that on her, right? So, the point is there's a high correlation between people who work together in their marriages and have a respect for each other's talents, insights, and abilities, and make major decisions together, not in spite of each other. Larry Burkett used to say, most people that get married are different. One's a spender, one's a saver. One's a nerd, one's a free spirit, right? And so opposites attract. And if one of you, otherwise, one of you is not necessary. If you marry somebody just like you, one of you is not necessary. So, you need to be. It's good that you have different. And Sharon's wired completely different. Stacey's wired completely different from y'all. And I've watched y'all use the same principle. It's a financial principle. Mm-hmm. It's a marriage principle. It's a spiritual principle. No lack of gain, to be on the same page on major deals with your money.
Yeah, well, and this is also beyond just the spouse part. The spouse represents someone who is giving you counsel. The Bible is clear many times on the wisdom of counsel. In other words, getting multiple pieces of feedback. But I want to just back up Sharon's feeling for a second, okay? So scientists not too long ago studied, Dave, grandmaster chess players. They put heart monitors on the world's greatest chess players, and here's what they found.
Yep, I've seen this.
Every time that one of those grandmaster chess players made an incorrect move that ended up costing them deeply in the match, the heart rate spiked. And all that means this. Here was the direct takeaway. That the feeling, the gut feeling that he's talking about that Sharon has, is not some spooky East Tennessee talent. What it is that it's actually the brain sending a signal to the body, this is a bad decision. And so I say all that to say, if you've got a bad gut feeling, what they determined from that study was, had those chess players listened to their body, they would have said, something logical up here is saying don't do this, and they overrided it, and they overthought their way through it. Trust the feeling is the point.
Yeah. And, that slows you down. You don't impulse.
That's it.
And you should have peace.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Before there ought to be a sense of peace in the air before you make a major move.
That's right.
Not a sense of angst.
That's right.
And if there's angst, it could be because it's a bad move, or it could be because you haven't studied it hard enough.
That's correct.
And you don't understand. So, for instance, if you're doing an investment you've never done before, doesn't mean the investments is bad. If your heart rate's spiking, it means you don't know enough about it to do it yet. You need to get comfortable with your knowledge base to be able to buy that. Same thing with buying the next house, right?
And here, I want you to comment on this.
How many
Dave.
times have we all done something? We go, I knew better.
That's exactly right.
You look back in the rearview mirror. You're like hindsight's 20/20, baby.
But here's what I want you to weigh in on, Dave. Let's say that your spouse doesn't feel good about it, but you've actually done your homework and you know that it's actually not a silly decision, but they still don't feel that way. It's still important to hear them and then do a better job of casting vision or walking them through their fear.
Yep.
So there's a flip side to this too, that it's relational too.
Well, I mean, sometimes it's I got to unpack and go, okay, here's the way this works. And she goes, it doesn't feel right. Well, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's that thing, right? It could mean she doesn't understand it.
That's
so
right.
You're right. Or same thing back at me. I mean, she says, I think we ought to do this because. And I go, okay, well, I need to hear the because right now I don't want to do it.
Yeah. Right.
And so I need to hear a really good because. You're going to have to bring it. And so, but what happens is you end up with a long marriage that is good.
The data backs that up, too.
High quality marriage. Your health is improved.
Yeah.
And your wealth is improved.
Yeah.
That's what getting aligned. And so when we say stuff like, okay, you ought to be in one checking account, couples ought to combine their finances and not act like roommates, and then all you people go bananas because you were raised in a feminist world where everybody has to be independent. Listen, if you want to be independent, don't get married.
It's a great point.
Because it'll screw up that whole independence thing. I'm just saying.
I don't even know what that is anymore.
It's like, I mean, you need to learn to work.
26
If you can't
years.
play well with others, it's like, wow. So I need to be independent. Well, good. Just head your butt over there and do it somewhere else, right?
If you want to be independent, the data says you will be not as healthy and not as wealthy. That's going to freak some TikTokers out, but go research it on the Google. That's not my opinion.
It's good to mess with TikTok. You got to keep TikTok on its toes. So, yeah, but there's data and tons of research and spiritual counsel and wisdom from thousands of years behind this concept. And so we can all joke around and go, well, you should listen to your wife, but that's almost like, he should be henpecked and do whatever the woman says because he's scared of his wife. That's not what we're saying.
No.
We're saying a healthy relationship respects the other person's input. We work our way through the differences, and until we do, we don't make the move. And you wouldn't have bought a Tesla at 13% interest.
Oof.
Rolling negative equity into it and ending up with a $900 car payment making $80,000 because there's no amount of logical analysis that's going to make that smart. This is The Ramsey Show. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Ken Coleman, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author of the book Paycheck to Purpose, host of the Ken Coleman Show. He's my co-host today. The phone number here is 888-825-5225. Elizabeth is in El Paso, Texas. Hi, Elizabeth. How are you?
Hello, good. How's everybody doing?
Better than we deserve. What's up in your world?
Good. My question is just wondering if I should go back to work. I'm currently a stay-at-home mom, and just to try to help with the financial burden with our household right now.
What's your husband make?
He makes about 73, 70% of that being commission, so it does fluctuate.
What's he do?
He works at T-Mobile. He's a sales rep.
Okay. All right. How many kiddos you got?
2 girls, 2 and 4.
Okay. All right. And what would you be doing if you went back to work?
I came from the corporate world working in wireless. Before I left, I made about $110K. It is very demanding on your time, so I was thinking about doing something like a teaching job at a Christian school that would allow me to also have my daughters attend that Christian school and kind of like have my cake and eat it too, I guess.
Well, that's where I was going to go, is how much is your child care situation going to be if you run the numbers on what that would take? And I'm assuming that they have a preschool program where they could go free or heavily discounted. Is that the truth?
Yeah, the child care here isn't too expensive. For 2 kids, it could run about $800 to $900 a month.
Uh-huh.
And that's at that school, or?
No, that's just like a little kind of daycare. But at the school, it would be discounted, anywhere from 50 to 60% off, and that would be about $500 a child.
How much would you make?
Hold on.
Yeah, that's not.
But you said $900 before. Now you said $500 a child after the discount.
No. It's $500 with no discount. But at a daycare, it would be $800.
For both?
Yes.
Okay, so the daycare is cheaper than the school after the discount.
Well, after the discount, the school will be cheaper.
Oh, $500 total, not per kid.
Right.
Okay, I'm sorry. I got lost.
I was in the same boat.
I got lost. Okay, anyway, so $500 or $900.
But how much
and how much would you make teaching?
You know, that's going to vary from $40,000 to $60,000. I don't have teaching.
Okay, so you say $400 on daycare, but you are making $50,000 less.
Than if I were to go back to something in my career.
Yeah. So if you're going to go back to work, go back to work. I mean, $50,000. I wouldn't trade $400 worth of daycare for $50,000.
Right.
What do you guys? What do you need more income for? Give us the big picture. Why are you feeling this need?
The big picture is we moved to El Paso. We bought a house. Obviously, we bit off a little bit more than we can chew. My husband's car broke down. He ended up getting a car, so we had an additional $400 payment. I have a $300 payment. And then on top of that, our escrow was short $400 a month. So now we're short.
So how much is your house payment?
It was $2,200, and it went up to $2,500.
Okay.
We have $32K in savings.
How much do you owe on your cars?
A total of $41K.
And $700 a month, both cars.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You did bite off more than you can chew on the house. So unless your income is going to go up, you need to sell your house.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Either your income goes up or you need to sell it, because it's why you can't breathe. You quickly identified it. I mean, you could sell both cars, sell the house, and get you a couple of hoopties and a cheaper rent, and you'd have a great life.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with that either, by the way, if that's what you choose to do. But basically, to keep that house and those cars, you're going to put your kids in daycare. That's your choice. And either one is a fine choice. It's just you need to make the choice out loud. Y'all need to say that's what we did, because you should be making $10,000 a month take home pay to take that house payment.
Right.
And you're not even close to that. Yeah, you're in deep. So I'm okay with the other possibility, of course, is your husband realigns his career and gets his income up $50K. I don't really care where it comes from, but your income's going to need to go up pretty dramatically, or you're going to need to sell the house.
Mm-hmm.
And you're already feeling that. That's not me saying that. The math is saying that.
Yeah. Why'd you chuckle when Dave threw out that as an option? Is that just such an emotional, out of left field selling the house that you can't even process it?
Yep.
That's what I thought. How long you been in that house?
It's been about 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, the last time your life was good was before you bought the house.
Mm.
Pretty much.
Yeah, and if you trace your steps back to the last time your life was good, then it tells you where you went, where you turned left, and you turned left. So, yeah. So I know plenty of people, including Dave and Sharon Ramsey, who took on a lower lifestyle because it mattered to us that she was at home with the kids. and it's what she wanted to do. But it means a different car and a different house in order to do that, until the income comes up to justify otherwise. And so we stayed in a super conservative situation after our bankruptcy, losing everything, and until my income came up, then we could afford to do that, because she could have gone back to work right after the bankruptcy, and it would have made sense, actually. But it was a choice that we made, and we said, okay, the trade-off is a better house and better cars now. Eventually we'll get them anyway, because my income will come up and his income will come up. But now I want to trade that for time at home with the babies. She said, I don't want to leave. I don't want, let's do anything where I don't have to leave home. Now, if she had said, if she had said, like Rachel Cruz, I want to be in the marketplace. Rachel's in Phoenix doing a book signing. So Rachel's out there, professional lady, speaking, writing, doing this show, and has folks help with her children as a result. And so she chose that, though. And so you need to choose this, because this is choosing you is the problem. The stress chose you the last time, because y'all just thought there was no implication. I can just buy whatever house I want, like you're in Congress or something. You can spend whatever you want. And so you got to go back. Now, so tonight y'all need to sit down and talk about it, Elizabeth, and say, all right, do we keep the house or do I go back to work? Or what can we do to get your income to 120 from 70? And that probably means you're not working at T-Mobile store. Probably means you're doing something else. So which of these three things are we going to do? Mm-hmm. Because sitting where we are is not going to work mathematically. The math is screaming at you. Not Dave and Ken, the math. This is The Ramsey Show. If you're like most people, your home is your most valuable asset. And when you want to make improvements, it can feel like everything costs too much or takes too long. But something as simple as custom window coverings from Blinds.com can completely change your space and add value to your home. We've recommended Blinds.com for over a decade, so you know you can trust them. From blinds, drapes, and shutters to motorized shades, they make it easy and affordable to upgrade your entire home, and their team is ready to help with everything from design consultation to measuring and installation. Plus, there are never any misleading quotes or hidden fees. Everything's backed by their 100% satisfaction guarantee, and shipping is always free. See why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. Visit Blinds.com to get up to 45% off. That's Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions may apply. It's Financial Literacy Month nationally, and this month we're celebrating teachers. The teachers of America do such a good job. They work hard. We all know a teacher that made a big difference in our lives, and probably more than one. It's weird that 40, 50 years later, I can remember them like it was yesterday. The good ones, the ones that really poured into the kids. You know, everybody can name their teacher, or 6 or 7 of them I can name that, or made a huge difference. And here at Ramsey, we want to say thank you for all you do with our Teacher Appreciation Giveaway, sponsored by Ramsey Education. One teacher will win $5,000 vacation, plus 2 additional teachers are going to win a $3,000 vacation to wherever they choose. Completely free, no purchase is necessary. For more info, send teachers, and teachers go to RamseySolutions.com/teacher. And enter today for your chance to win one of those vacations if you're a teacher. Up next is James in Richmond, Virginia. Hi, James. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. How you guys doing?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Oh, me and my wife. Okay, Jocelyn, my wife. We're 40. I'm 45. She's 42. We've been stuck, I guess, and we're trying to figure out what's going on. I've been a business owner for 18 years, not very good one, apparently. Before that, I was in retail. She just retired medically from the Navy 2.5 years ago. Before she retired and I was in business, we were doing okay. We bought a house, decent interest rate on it back when it was a few years ago with a VA loan, and something we could afford. It was $19.60 a month, and we were making $85,000 to $10,000 a month. With my restoration company, water damage, and her in the Navy. Then she got discharged, and they dropped her pay down to like $2,000 a month, and then work dries up, and we've been stuck now for a year and a half, and it seems like every time we start to build, we were on step 3 for a while, and then all of a sudden something big happens and crashes us, and now we're 8 months pregnant and due next month, and can't figure out what we got to do.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
On the baby. Yeah.
Yes, not on the rest of the stupidity.
Yeah. So what was the nature of her medical discharge?
She had a lot of things. She got almost 90% when they finished with her with migraines, stress fractures, different tendinitises, and some other things. They got her all on that.
How's she doing with the baby then?
She's doing great with the baby. It was unexpected. That was completely unexpected, but a happy surprise to us last October. I'm sorry, when we found out. But yes, the baby's doing great. We don't know what it is yet. We're not going to find out.
So your crisis, it sounds like more than anything, is income.
Yeah, our crisis, and we don't know what we want to do. I've applied for jobs recently. I haven't done that in 15 years. But we're applying for jobs, yes, and we're I'm trying to get, we're down to the point now where we can't even afford to buy our lead service to get more jobs to come in for where we're at, and we're in $30,000 in credit card debt over the last 2 years, trying to just make ends meet. We're trying to get rid of them. We had them snowballed, and she had almost 20,000 of them paid off, and then we just got to where food was, and we couldn't even eat.
Yeah, we need to get some income fast. Real quick, give me a couple snapshots here. What's your combined income right now?
I think I might have made 40,000 total with us last year, and she made her
$2,000 a month, 24,000.
Retirement, 24,000.
Okay.
So we might have made 66,000. We got an 18-year-old going to college next year.
All right, let's reverse engineer this. Do you have a good grasp of your budget to know what's a number, combined or you, that would give us a lot of room, or at least a decent amount of margin to start attacking this debt? What's that number?
Okay.
Is it 80,000? Is it 90?
No.
What is it?
No. Okay, we have a house which I guess that's debt too. So we owe $360 on it. We bought it 3 years ago at $383. We owe $360 on it. It's worth $425 now.
Sure.
We've got two vehicles that we pay for. One is a truck that we bought from my restoration company that we're not even affording.
All right, let me jump in here. Let me try to fast forward this. What is the number one skill you have?
Water damage restoration, mold remediation.
Great. Okay. And with that skill, you've got some other handy skills, my guess is, as well, correct? Not just the knowledge of that function, but you've got some other skills around being handy, yes. I'm wondering?
Yes. I can't take a lot of that in Virginia because of licensing, registration, regulations, and all that kind of stuff. So I have to be very particular what I do take as side jobs.
Okay. Tell me what you could do today. I know Virginia well. What could you do if I hooked you up with a couple of builders and stuff like that? What could you do without the licensing stuff? Just real work.
Water, mold, fire, smoke, crime scene cleanup, disaster recovery.
Mm-hmm. Okay, what else?
Tearing down buildings. I looked at a pressure washing job a few days ago for a large private school. Okay. And, it's a $17,000 bid. We'll see if they go with it.
All right.
We're
hold on a second. Can you swing a hammer? Can you do basic carpentry?
Yes.
Okay, let me just tell you this right now. I'm going to give you a snapshot. We have a shortage of carpenters in this country. A shortage of carpenters. It's all over the news.
Okay.
You can look it up if you think I'm just making this up. I'm not. And let me tell you something. You need to be out working. So the mold remediation, I got a friend of mine who owns a company in that space, the water remediation space. They're making money hand over fist. You know what he tells me?
We should be, but I keep running out of money to bid.
No, listen to me.
You don't need to buy
It's not
leads.
you need to go work for
You
somebody.
need to buy leads. You don't need to buy leads.
Stop buying leads.
Good God.
Listen, I think right now you need to figure out how to run the business later. I think you need to go work for somebody who's crushing it. You need a good hourly rate. If you're making $25 to $30 an hour, that would be a raise for you, a big raise.
Got it.
Am I right?
I just went to an interview last week with DMS Cat for the director of operations position. That was 100 and something.
Yeah, hello.
Good job. Keep doing that. But my point is, let's not
Didn't
wait
go
for
through.
that.
I'm putting applications in. I'm putting them in every day.
I know, but
67 of them with these companies.
James, if you and I were hanging out in Richmond, Virginia right now, and I used to live there, I know where I'm talking about, and I know where I would get in a truck with you and say, James, come on, we're going to go, and I'm going to be your agent, and we're going to walk on job sites, and we're going to introduce ourselves. This is a serious situation that you are in. You got a baby on the way. You're upside down. You got the waters right under your nose. You need to go out and work. And we're talking $25, $30 an hour, anything I can get. I'm going to go work for somebody in remediation who needs an extra set of hands. I'm not going to work for myself because I haven't figured out how to do that part well yet. I'm not knocking you, but I just want you to get some air back.
I think you can go make 100 to 120 doing something in these areas.
I do too.
Running a crew for somebody
Trades.
that's crushing it
Yeah.
right now.
That's
and there are
exactly what
people
I
out
put
there crushing it.
applications in
Here's the thing. You're spending a lot of your time beating James up, and you need to let old James up. He's not that bad a guy.
That's right.
You need to let him up. You've been beating the crap out of him on this call the whole time. Because you're getting ready to be a dad, and it's scary, and you feel normal people feel inept. I remember when we lost everything, I felt like I was an idiot because I had done some idiotic things. And I discovered there's a difference between doing some idiotic things and being an idiot. And so, so you need to give my friend James a break. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
He's getting ready to be a dad. He's thrilled. He's happy. He knows how to do a lot of things. And with a smile and a work ethic, and I'll show up on time or early, leave late, not early. You hire me, you're going to get the best guy on the planet because I'm a guy with a brand new baby and I need to feed him, and I'm going to take care of you because you're taking care of me. Man, I got to tell you, in the world we live in today, that's a big plus. You're very marketable. So we're going to send you both of Ken's books, The Proximity Principle and Paycheck to Purpose, and I want you to go to kencoleman.com right now and for free start looking at all the different forms and processes Ken has on there about getting a position. And it's all about face-to-face contact. It's not about filling out applications on the internet.
That's right.
That's useless. It's a complete waste of time. Nobody looks at that crap. You need to get eyeball to eyeball with the dude making the decision. He'll hire you.
That's right.
If you'll start liking you a little bit better. I like you. You ought to. This is The Ramsey Show. Your home is probably the biggest purchase you'll ever make. And with the real estate market like it is now, you'll need a mortgage company you can trust. That's Churchill Mortgage. You guys, buying a home is not a button push. It's a process. It takes building a relationship with an expert who will dig into the details and give you peace of mind without busting your budget. Churchill is one of the highest rated lenders in the country. And they're Ramsey trusted because they do what's right for you. Go to churchillmortgage.com to get started. Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage. Mason and Chelsea are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Better than we deserve. Where are you from?
We are from about an hour south of Montgomery, Alabama.
Oh, okay. L.A., Lower Alabama.
That's right.
I like it. Good for you. Welcome to Nashville. And how much debt have you guys paid off?
We paid off $160,000 in about 36 months.
Good for you. And your range of income during that time?
We started out at about 110, and then we ended around 140.
Excellent. What do you guys do for a living?
I'm a math teacher.
Ah.
And I'm a manager over a water authority.
Okay. Did y'all sell some stuff? That's a lot in 36 months.
I sold my Jeep and my wake boat during this time, so we sold some things.
What did those two things bring?
It wasn't too much, probably about 15 between both of them. And we had a little money saved up from before that
How
we
much?
had put towards it. Probably about 30 or 40, probably.
Yeah.
Okay, so of the 160, almost 60 of it went out the door that way.
Yes, sir.
Then you knock off 100, about $35,000 a year for 3 years.
Yes, sir.
Very good. That works. Good for y'all. Y'all been careful. You got fired up,
Yes,
didn't you?
Yes,
we
sir.
did.
So what kind of debt was the 160?
It was our house.
You paid off your house. You
Yes, sir.
got rid of the Jeep and the wakeboard boat to pay off the house.
That's
Yes.
right.
How old are you two weirdos?
I just turned 28.
And I just turned 29.
And you have a paid-for house.
Yes, sir.
Y'all are whacked. I love it. What's this house worth?
Probably around 330, something like that,
I
I'd say.
love it. And you're not
Yes,
even
sir.
30 years old and a paid-for house.
No.
How you doing on the nest egg? How's your savings going?
We're getting there. We're slowly but surely, but we're putting towards it. Yes, sir.
Good. Good for you. Well done, guys.
Thank
Yes,
you.
thank
Congratulations. How long y'all been married?
We have been married. Next month will be 7 years.
Okay, so about halfway through the marriage,
Yep.
ding, 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 something happened, and you plug into this Ramsey stuff. Tell us the story. How'd you find us, and what happened?
Well, when I turned 18, I was working in the oil field offshore, and it's the first time I was making money. And he was going out the door as fast as it was coming in, and I just did a Google search, and I found you guys, and we've been plugged in ever since. And about 3 years ago, we built our house, and then we just followed the principles, and then we just wanted to pay it down as soon as we could. We had 2 little boys in the 3 years too, so we had some reasons to do it.
Wow, very cool. Good for y'all. Well done. So 2 babies, paid-for house, and everything was paid for before that. You just got rid of some of it because you wanted the house paid off more than you wanted the stuff.
Yes,
Right.
sir. That's right.
Okay, and the savings too. So
Right.
extra savings. Way to go, y'all. Way to go.
Yeah, I've got to ask because there's an emotional connection to these baby steps. I mean, once you get to a place, you've heard Dave say you get sick and tired of being sick and tired. Sometimes it's different emotion. But I got to know, what was the range of emotions you went through when you sold a Jeep and a wake boat? All for the purposes of paying the mortgage off.
Well, I tell you, Chelsea set a hard goal of the end of last year to be done with it, and I said it'd be the end of this year, and she said, well, we can get it done the end of last year, and we sold some things and we did some hard things to get it done, but when we set the hard goals and we got it done,
Yeah.
So
Was it worth it?
it
Yes.
absolutely was.
Absolutely.
How's it feel to be completely free?
Feels
Awesome.
good. Free,
It
nothing's
feels
on you.
amazing.
Yeah. Wow.
I like that you just dropped it and said, no, we're doing it at the end of the.
I
He wanted
did.
12-month extension, and you said, no, sir.
Yes. And
Wow.
Yep. It was tough, and he had to dial me back in a couple times.
Well, that's how it works. It's a little bit of give and take
That's
to
right.
make
Oh, yeah.
the process work.
I love that.
And stay on page together. That's
Yes.
the thing.
Yes, sir.
So, well done, you two. Very well done. Y'all are heroes. And those little boys, they have no idea how great their parents are.
Oh, thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
They're look at that. Oh, they're beautiful. They're set. We're looking at the picture on YouTube, y'all.
Yeah.
I mean, wow. They're set up. Their whole lives are different.
They are.
I mean, you ever know anybody that by 30 had a paid-for house that was worth $350,000? I didn't when I was your age.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
Very strange. It is weird.
It
It's
is.
the good
It
kind of
really
weird.
is. Yeah.
What do you tell people the key to getting out of debt is?
My thing is to don't let yourself see the money in the checking account to begin with. Go ahead and put that money in savings. Go ahead and be paying stuff off, because if you're anything like me, when you see it in the checking account, you want to spend it. But if it's not there, then you don't have to worry about
It's
it.
got to have a plan.
Yep.
Yes,
Execute the
exactly.
plan. Yeah.
That's right.
Okay.
Yep.
What about you, Mason? Anything to add to that?
I'd say just, set hard deadlines when you want to get things done, your goals, it's very important to me just to do that, and then just keep on your plan. Start one and then just stay with it. And it's just, that was the main thing for us.
Yeah.
From the very beginning, we, started a budget. We lived off of his paychecks at the very beginning, and mainly because I was still in college. And then whenever I got a job, it just made sense to just keep living off of his paycheck instead of spending mine too. So from the beginning, my checks were going either in savings, or then once we got our house, was going straight towards our house payment. So it just made sense to stick to that. And even though we got raises, we still lived as if we didn't.
So who are your biggest cheerleaders?
Probably our parents. They were behind us the whole time. We had some friends that were behind us, but we did it.
So your parents, you grew up in a house that had common sense?
Getting that way, yes, sir.
Yes.
They were at least cheering you on.
That's right, yes, sir.
They were. And that's what we talked about before. If they had known what we knew, then they would have followed these steps too. Like they knew if they had known then,
Yeah.
So they were definitely behind us, cheering us on.
Yeah, very good. Good for y'all. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Very, very cool. Thank you for coming all the way to Nashville to share that story. It inspires people. So, Ken, this is what I'm always talking about. I was on Fox Business the other day, and they said, so what about this Gen Z generation? And I'm like, I love them.
Yeah.
I think they're awesome. What do you mean? A bunch of deadbeats. No, they're not. I mean, there's some of them are. But then I meet these like this here all the time, and there's good ones. There's hope for this country. People like that right there. These are heroes, man. Yeah. They take control of their life. They looked in the mirror and said, "You're the problem, and you're gonna fix it." And man, they stepped on it. I'm so proud of y'all. Way to go, guys.
Thank you.
Way to go. Very, very well done. We've got a couple of 1-year subscriptions to Every Dollar for You, one for you guys. You can give one away to one of your buddies and get them started on the Every Dollar budgeting app as well. So good stuff. Mason and Chelsea from Montgomery, Alabama, are just south of there. $160,000 paid off. House and everything in 36 months, minus a wakeboard boat and a Jeep. Making 110 to 140. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. We're debt-free!
Yeah! Love it! Yeah, baby! Woo! This is how it's done, boys and girls. This is how it's done. Man, I'm telling you, if you're out there riding right this second, you're driving in your car and you're listening to this, that couple drove up here so you could hear that story.
No question.
And that means that I'm talking to you right now, you're supposed to be doing this. You're supposed to decide to get control of your freaking life instead of living, thank God it's Friday, oh God it's Monday. And start putting this stuff down, get the Every Dollar app loaded, start laying out a plan, a budget, because nobody plans to be broke. They only plan to not be broke. So lay you out a dadgum plan, baby, and get with it. You can do this stuff. Anybody can do it. Ken, we've seen people from every walk of life, every region and state in the country.
That's right.
Every race, creed, color, and national origin. This stuff knows no boundaries. The only color that we're worried about here is green.
Yeah.
So get with it. Get with it. We're here to help you. We're here to walk with you and show you, inspire you, inform you, so you go do this stuff and you can stand on this debt-free stage and scream, I'm debt-free.
Yeah, it's absolutely right. And one of the things I just took away from this, too, is you get the sense that they are impacting the generation ahead of them with their parents.
Yeah.
That this is going to potentially change. They're young, so that means their parents are still young. And I love this. This begins to influence so many people around you. When you live this way and you live like no one else and you give like no one else, it becomes highly attractive. And so think of this as not just financial freedom for you, but maybe your family, extended family. And I'm really blown away by that. It means you guys have done it well.
Yeah.
Classy in how you did it.
Very well done. Very well done. Even how you answered the question.
Yeah, that's right.
This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey guys, it's Rachel Cruz here to tell you about a faith-based alternative to health insurance that can make healthcare more affordable. Christian Healthcare Ministries. CHM allows members to share each other's healthcare costs, and it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1, choose the healthcare provider you want. Step 2, submit your eligible bills. And step 3, get reimbursed. CHM members take care of your eligible medical bills. With no networks and the freedom to choose your healthcare provider, CHM is the best option for Christians who want to take care of their families and help other believers. Find out more at chministries.org/budget.
Well, it's book launch week here at Ramsey Solutions. Rachel Cruz's new book for children, I'm Glad for Where I Am. The second in the series comes out tomorrow on April the 16th. Those of you that have pre-ordered, it'll ship. And she's going to be around doing signings in several of your markets. We'll be letting you know about those this week in Phoenix and Dallas and Los Angeles and Atlanta and so on. So we'll let you know where she is and make sure that we get you out there for that. Also, Ken Coleman's new book, The Get Clear Assessment, Find the Work You're Wired to Do. We've been selling Ken's assessment that our team built with Ken here on the website for a while. Sold almost 100,000 of you have taken that assessment, and we decided that it would be a good idea to do a book explaining exactly how to interpret the assessment, right, Ken?
That's exactly right. So the assessment answers the question, who am I? And we're talking about as a professional, meaning what are you good at and what do you love to do? And then the book comes along almost as a coach. And we wrote this short, takes you about 45 minutes to read, but it only is effective if you've taken the assessment. The good news is, Dave, you get an assessment with the hardback when you pre-order it, and then you're going to get an ebook with another assessment code and the audiobook with another assessment code, all if you pre-order. So essentially 3 books, 3 codes, which means it's the gift that keeps on giving. And again, as a professional, if you want to make more money is all about your ability to grow as a person. And I like to say it this way, it'll help you get better so that you can get a bigger paycheck, right? The paycheck is always about how much better you are, improving yourself. We know this. And so that assessment in the book is going to answer the big questions. Who am I? What do I want to do? Where can I do it? And the book comes along and helps you get there. And that's a game changer. As you know, 96% of millionaires loved their work. And oh, by the way, they were good at it too.
Yeah, well, it's hard to be good at something you hate, number one.
That's right. And, except for golf for me.
Yeah, well, it just depends on which hole it is.
Problem.
Right? But the thing is this, you don't have to necessarily change your whole career.
That's correct.
It could be you're just doing it in the wrong place in the wrong way. It could be just some personal growth.
That's absolutely right.
Landing in a different location. It could be a complete change of direction.
Could be.
Either one's fine. But sometimes people mistake and say, oh, well, what I need to do is just quit my job and go to school.
That's right.
No. You need to find out where you are and figure out if school is required to get where you want to go.
Yeah. You know what the superpower is, Dave, for all successful men and women? Self-awareness. And we're talking about awareness in what they do really well, what lights them up, and they find a way to get in that spot. And when they do, it's when greatness happens.
Megan is in Chicago. Hi, Megan. Welcome. Hello. Megan, Are you there?
Hi there.
Hi.
Hi, Ken.
How can we help?
Yeah, I've been doing this now for a while, and I'm wondering, how do I pay off $79,000 in debt?
Well, it sounds like you know.
Stop being Davish.
Well, I mean, what you're saying is you're doing some of the things we teach, sorta.
I am. I'm a single mom of 2 kids, and I've off and on over the last several years worked on my finances. And I feel like every time I'm making progress, something happens, or there's something that I do wrong.
Can you give us one example? Give us a recent example of you were going along great, something happened, and then you didn't make a great decision.
Probably when probably a year ago, I had a washer and dryer break down, and I used a credit card to buy a new washer and dryer, and then at the same time needed to replace the flooring because it had rotted where it leaked. So rather than find some salvage washer and dryer or hand-me-downs, I bought new with a credit card.
And then being Davish, what would we say a washer dryer going out? What would we call that in our world? An emergency, right?
Yes.
Because we got to wash clothes. Although
they both went out the same day.
Well, the dryer had been on the fritz for a while, and the washer leaked all over the floor for several weeks.
And
I just
caused
let it
the
keep going
damage.
because I didn't have the funds. Exactly, I didn't have the funds to do anything about it as a single mom of two.
You know
and
that
the
thing right behind the washer where it has a faucet handle?
Yeah.
Yeah, that cuts the water off.
Mm-hmm.
If it's leaking.
Yeah.
For several weeks.
Yeah.
You don't have to have funds to go lefty righty.
To be smart, yeah.
Okay. I'm just okay. So, I'm not picking on you. I'm just saying that what you're. What happens is that we get in these situations, and you get scared, and you get you add drama to it. I do this, and you've done it. I heard it. You add drama to something and turn it into something a lot bigger than it is. My point being, you could have just turned the water off the first time you saw a leak and then said, okay, I'm going to go to the coin laundry for a little while until I can save up some money. And then you wouldn't have had a rotted floor, and the dryer was already on the fritz, so that wasn't new information. So we took all of these things and we added them together, and a catastrophe was created in your head. And that's what we all do. But it's what it is anytime there are problems, the more we avoid them, they get worse. They don't get better. And the washer and dryer is almost a metaphor for that. So how long have you, were you divorced or widowed or never married or what?
Never married. I have 2 children, 2 separate fathers. I do receive child support on one.
How old are the kiddos?
They are 13 and 8.
And what do you make a year?
I bring home, monthly I bring home $2,500.
Okay. All right. What do you do?
I work from home in insurance.
Is that sales or customer service?
Authorizations.
Yeah. Okay. So you're 40?
37.
37? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I have a mortgage and a car payment.
How much is your car payment?
It is $440 a month.
Okay. All right. So, what I think I'm hearing, and if I'm wrong, you just tell me, okay? But I think I'm hearing a lady that for a little over a decade, life has happened to you. You've not happened to life.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Like you're not crying and you're not whining victim, but you've also not been on the attack. You've been on the defensive.
Correct.
Yeah. And so let's flip that script a little bit and start saying, okay, your job sucks. You don't make any money.
Yeah.
And so we got to work on that. And we got to get Megan where she's proactive rather than reactive on everything, including money, including her kids, including her job, including everything else. Because you fell backwards into this job. You aren't out hunting going, gosh, I hope I can do phone work for an insurance company from home. I sure hope I can do that for $30,000 a year and starve to freaking death. I hope I can do that. Yep. That wasn't what you're doing. You just took something because you were hungry. Am I right?
Yeah, I work in healthcare, so it was the best fit during COVID to work from home. So it just works out that way.
Right. But here's the point. I'm going to give you...
No, it really wasn't.
Uh-oh.
No, it really wasn't. Because you're hungry. You're broke. So that's not a best fit. It's what you
Actually,
chose to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
When
Well,
I
are you a
took this
nurse?
job, I actually
Are you a nurse?
No. When I took this job, I increased my income because I was working as a medical scribe in a cancer center.
Okay,
and
then
making
that
less
was a
than what I
better
make
fit. It's a
now.
better fit than what you had. But the job before really sucked then. Because you're not making any money, girl.
Yeah. So what's going on is that you have to do two things. You got to decide you're going to find a way around debt when something breaks next time, because you'd find a way to feed those kiddos if that's all that you had to do. And then secondly, hang on the line. I do want to give you the Get Clear Career Assessment in the new book, Find the Work You're Wired to Do, because you're worth double. You're worth double.
You need to be making twice
what
as
you're
much as
making
you're making
right now. And that'll solve a lot
I
of
didn't
problems.
say you suck. I said your job does. That's why, because I don't think you do. I think you're awesome. You're a warrior princess. Now it's time to go to fight instead of being beat on. This is the Ramsey Show. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's the Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Ken Coleman, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author of the book Paycheck to Purpose, and host of the Ken Coleman Show. He's my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Mina is with us in Washington, D.C. Hi, Mina. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. How are you doing today?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Good. Yeah. So I recently got married, and we have a baby coming on the way. And my husband, I personally don't have any debt. I don't have any student loan debt, but my husband has some from undergrad and his master's, and he's wanting to be a theology professor. And so currently he's pursuing his PhD with a fully funded with a stipend and everything. But we have about $86,000 or $87,000 in his student loan debt. And I mean, thankfully, I have been set up pretty well, and so I'm kind of in a position where I could wipe it all away for him. But I didn't know if there should be a different strategy because we have a baby coming in a month.
What do you mean set up really well? What have you got, and where did you get it?
So I worked for my dad basically since I graduated from school, and so he helped me a lot with my savings and investments and everything. So I have money in a Marcus Goldman Sachs account and money in invested.
How much?
So right now I have about $60,000 saved. I mean, that's actually after we combined bank accounts. So that is me and my husband's combined savings. And then we have about another 50 in my investments, including, and I include that in my Roth IRA. Mm-hmm. So I've built up some in my Roth.
Okay. How much is in your Roth?
$17,000.
Okay. All right. That's not accessible. So you have 23 left, or 33 left other than that, right?
They did say it was accessible. I think it can. It can be.
It's not. We're not messing with a Roth. Okay, so we got 23 and 60. So you got 83,000, and you owe 86,000.
Mm-hmm. And
33. So I'm sorry, you have 90. So you have enough to pay it off and have $5,000 plus your Roth.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't want you doing that until a baby comes.
Don't do that until the baby comes.
Right. Because I want mom and baby to have the comfort of a big old pile of money. And when baby comes and baby's okay and mom comes home and we figure out what we're doing with life then, and we're living on a budget where we live on less than we have coming in, and and we've got a game plan, then yes, I do want to pay off his student loans.
Okay, but yeah, I guess what scares me is that the interest is accruing. I mean, obviously daily.
It's not accruing that much while a baby comes. It's just a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's right now. It's accrued about $2,200 as of today, like $2,200 in interest, which, obviously is moves it up to $87,000 about.
Yeah, you're going to get a little bit of interest, but in return, you're going to have a bunch of money. Okay, if you want to throw 30 or 40 at it, that's fine. But I want you to have a really fat nest egg until baby comes, and then you can talk about coming down to $5,000 and clearing it out. But the last thing I want you to do is have zero debt and zero money and have a baby come and there's a bit of a hiccup, and it throws things sideways by $10,000, and now you got to worry about a bill and a baby, and we don't need to be worried about that.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, and so you would suggest then putting $40,000, like at most, like
that'd be fine. 40 or 50 towards it out of the. You got about 90, and so if you throw 40 or 50 towards it, you'll be fine, and that at least lowers the interest that's accruing, and you're still sitting on 40 or 50 at that point, and then when baby comes, you just pay it off.
Pay it off completely, like
yes.
There's no I should just have it disappear.
Yes,
okay.
Zero.
Yeah. Okay.
And he's not borrowing any money to finish the PhD. And are you going to be working, or how are you guys are living off the stipend, or what?
Yeah, so we're living off the stipend. I'm working full time as a tennis coach, but I don't plan on. Ideally, I would like to be home with the baby, but I just don't know. Insurance will obviously be through the roof.
Well, the good news. It's not that bad. You're young and healthy. And the good news about tennis coaching is you could do that with individuals and set your hours, and not be leaving the baby very much.
Right. I don't even know if I want to do that. He himself has talked about how he'd rather be working.
Okay. That's fine. As long as you guys can eat and you're not broke. As long as you can have enough income coming in between the two of you that you figured that out. And and
our grocery bill's pretty high, though. It's kind of like we're living in DC. It's not where we want to be. We want to be in a more red state, but just our grocery bill. We eat.
Is that where he's studying or something?
Yeah.
For the two of you, it's just the two of you, right?
It's just the two of us right now. Yeah.
Let me tell you something, Mina. I got 3 teenagers, 2 of which are boys. Don't even talk to me about grocery bills. It's crazy. You guys can do better than that.
Yeah, you got a lot of other things to worry about than your grocery bill. Just two
I was going to say.
So here's the thing.
I love her intensity, Dave, but I hope she grasps that you are giving her an insurance policy that means peace of mind until baby gets here, and then you can attack it.
Yeah.
But it's such a huge deal. I hope a lot of people hear that. That's really great advice.
Well, the first 3 baby steps: save $1,000 quickly with great intensity, pay off all your debts except your home, smallest to largest in that order, with great intensity. Like sell so much stuff the kids think they're next. Put the dog on eBay, the cat on Craigslist. Everything's gone. Yeah. No life, scorched earth, beans and rice, no eating out, no vacations. We're cleaning up the mess. Baby step 3 in that same intensity is finish the emergency fund. Now, when you finish the emergency fund and you have no debt except your house, then you move from intense to intentional. But until then, you're wide open. Now, when you're in the middle of a storm, like you say, the boss comes in and says, in 60 days, we're laying off 70% of the people that work here. Well, that's a storm.
Yeah.
So you push pause on paying off the debt or building the emergency fund, wherever you are in 1 through 3 baby steps, until you get the other side of the storm. In the case of a pregnancy, obviously it's a blessed event. It's not a storm, but we're going to prepare as if it matters more than the getting out of debt, because it does. Then we get the other side of it. Baby comes home. Mom and baby are okay. We push play again, which means we clean out everything down to $1,000 and pay off debts until we're debt free. That's exactly what I was telling her to do. This is The Ramsey Show. Thanks for joining us, America. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host. Today's question comes from Julian in Texas.
My responsibilities at my job have increased significantly. I've received routine raises, but they're not reflective of the increased responsibilities I've been given. I approached my boss with my concern and gave him a number that I think I'm worth based on similar roles. My boss agreed that I deserved a raise and said a raise would show up on my next check. The raise was 5%. Less than half of the number I'd suggested. Feeling frustrated, I applied for a couple jobs at other companies. I received an offer for 2% more than the amount I asked my current employer for. But the kicker is I didn't like the interview and I don't intend to take the job. Is it inappropriate to use a job offer to leverage a raise at my current job? My heart is telling me no, but I want some of that good old-fashioned Ken Coleman sense knocked into me. Okay, wow, that puts the pressure on me. I got to cuff him upside the head, apparently. Julian, here's the thing. I think there's too much emotion in this, and I think at this point to take in the job offer that gets you 2% more, so it looks like a 7% bump from what you've just been offered, I think here could get really manipulative, and I think the emotion I'm seeing in this, and I understand why you feel the way you feel based on what you've said, but if your boss agreed that you deserved a raise, you told him a number, and you gave him what you think was evidence. Now, I don't know how good your evidence was here. I don't have the luxury of talking to you back and forth, but based on what you're saying, the boss heard you, agreed, you told him the number you think you deserve, and they gave you half of it. And you don't want the other gig anyway. So this feels really manipulative. Is it inappropriate? No. Unless,
it is.
Well, let me finish what I mean by inappropriate. I know what you're saying. It's not unethical. It's not, but it runs the risk of being very manipulative. And so if you want to call that inappropriate, then certainly I get that. And so I just wouldn't do this. You've been given the raise. They told you what they think the raise is, and now you got to be an adult. And going back in and trying to wave another job offer in front of them that you do not want feels childish to me, and I wouldn't do it. I don't think it'll serve you well at all.
It doesn't change the fact that, let's say that you went back in and waived this, and they gave you a 10% raise, way through the roof.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you're not going to be over all these other things.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. You feel underappreciated, used, you feel like they didn't take care of you, and the only way that you get your right amount is to threaten them. So when after you finish threatening them and they give you a big raise because of that, maybe even more, you're still going to feel like they don't have your back, like you're underappreciated, like, the only way I got what this company should give me is I had to be a jerk. And so you need to leave is what you need to do, because you're done. But you don't need to take this other job. So you need to keep looking, get you another job, and you need to leave.
Yeah.
That's what you need to do.
Yeah. Well, here's what happens. This will wear off. Dave is right. If they gave you the 10% immediately, you would feel like you won something, but you'd still feel like, well, they're going to keep giving me more, and that's the point. A raise doesn't fix this kind of damage here.
I'm not sure this company did anything wrong, but you
agree.
think they did.
That's right.
And the fact that you think you've been mistreated by them.
That's right.
You're done. Your language all through this email is, I'm done. I'm done. And so you don't really want them to give you the money, because then you'd be staying in a situation that you think is unfair, unjust. They don't appreciate you. They're not fair people. They don't pay comp right. They don't, whatever. You just don't like these people anymore. And so that's thing one. Thing two is this. Anytime you're facing a business ethics question, or for that matter, most ethics questions, you don't have to take a class on business ethics. All you got to do is switch shoes.
Yep.
Walk a mile in the other guy's moccasins. All right, now you're an employer. You had a guy that came in and said he was worth X, and you said, yeah, he's probably worth some more, and you gave him some more. He's pissed about that. He works for you. And then he comes back in and says, hey, I got an even better job offer. The whole way this goes down, if you work for us, we would say, take it.
That's right.
We'd say, take it. So if you switch it, you see how scummy it is.
Yeah.
And so to wave something in front of their nose that you don't intend to take just to manipulate them, Ken's right. That, you wouldn't want somebody to do that to you, so don't do it to somebody else. Treat other people like you'd want to be treated. It's a real business ethics lesson. And so, if somebody came in and started waving something in front of me like that, I'm going to be going, you know what? I think you should take it.
Yeah.
Because you don't work here anymore, so you're going to need a job. And stuff like that. We probably wouldn't be quite that snarky about it, but that's how it would be playing in my head.
Yeah, and even if they didn't tell you to go right away, it would start to erode the relationship to where
it's already
the
gone.
Beginning of the end. Anyway.
It's already gone.
That's right. Yeah. Don't ever put yourself in a corner, folks. Here's the thing. That's playing chess against yourself. And that's not smart, because then you're forced out to take a job that you don't want. I'd rather you leave on your own terms.
Jerry's in Raleigh, North Carolina. Hey, Jerry, what's up?
Hey, how are you today?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So, about 5 years ago, I came to America with a full scholarship and a cell phone. I worked for a year now in public accounting, and because of a visa issue, I have to go back to school. Now, throughout this year, obviously I started at zero. I've saved about $30,000, and I'm going to have to pay for college, which for me is going to be about $45,000. So I was wondering, as I won't be able to take out a regular student loan, and I'm going to have to take out a personal loan, would it be more beneficial for me to pay most of college cash and take a small amount, or just keep the $30K and finance the whole amount that I would go to college with and pay it off throughout the next few years as I go back to public accounting probably?
Explain really quick on the visa why you feel like you have to go to school.
Okay. So I work for a Big Four firm, and they decided to sponsor my visa, right? So that puts you into a lottery. And in this lottery system, unfortunately, I was one of the unlucky few. You have about a 20% shot. It used to be about 50, but in the last 2 years, it's changed to about 20% shot. And now I have to go back to school. And then after school, I should get another 3 years if I get a STEM-based degree, which is why it costs about $45K. That will give me another 3 shots. And the company I work for has already agreed to hire me back.
All right. And then on the $45,000, what type of school are we talking about?
Well, it is harder for me to get into school since I am an international, so it'd be a regular state school, might be even a private school, but it'd be a good degree like business analytics or something like that, something I'll be able to use.
All right. All I'm going to challenge you to do is get the absolute cheapest option possible. You're not getting this. If you're getting this degree to get another ticket in the raffle. And I just think you can beat that price to where you don't have to pay anything out of pocket other than the 30 or way less. I just do not rely on student loans for this to get a raffle ticket.
Or loans, private loans.
No loans at all. This is a raffle ticket, and that's American language for it's a lottery. It's exactly what you called it, but it's like, hey, and I just think there's so many other ways for you to get this degree that are much cheaper. There's these things called college hacks, and it sounds crazy. It's not. But you can actually test. It's like good old-fashioned CLEP test is what it is. And you can actually get that degree
It's
for
not the
a
degree.
fraction.
You're saying you're going to shift from a work visa to a student visa, right?
Yeah. So I didn't get my work visa, so I have to go back to school in person.
Well, which gives you a student visa, and that's the only way you get to stay.
So you
right?
didn't have to get the degree.
Yes, sir.
So
okay.
So this is all a visa play. You're moving from a work visa to a student visa, and you're hoping to move back to a work visa after that, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So again, you're buying a parking spot to change it from a raffle ticket, and so buy the cheapest parking spot. Go to school somewhere for $30K or less. Don't take out a loan.
Yeah.
This has nothing to do with getting the education, other than you're going to benefit from that while you're doing it. But pay cash for that, and that's what I would do. Thanks for the call. Ken Coleman, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Jackie is with us in Canada. Hi, Jackie. How are you?
Hi, Dave. Hi, Ken. I'm so glad to be connected with you today.
You too. How can we help?
I just have a question. So my husband and I, we followed your principles for probably the last 10 years, I'd say. We took financial peace years ago. And we are in a fortunate position to only have our mortgage, and it's $70,000. And the property that we live in, that's our primary property, is worth about $570,000. And just recently, our mother-in-law, she had a fall, and she's going to be living in a retirement home, which leaves the family farmhouse available for us to live in. And we're just wondering, my husband's an owner on that property. We're just wondering, would we sell or would we rent our primary home at this stage? So that's the question.
So you're going to move into his childhood home.
Exactly.
And who are the other owners of the home?
Just his mother and him.
Okay. And her portion is turned over to him at death?
Exactly. Yep, that's exactly right.
Is that via a will or a deed restriction or what?
Well, they're both co-owners on the deed. They're just,
Yeah, it doesn't
tenants in
matter.
common.
I don't know Canadian law, okay?
Okay, no, the will's the same. The will is all written out. It's his property. So
Okay.
his sister, she's also a farmer. She's already been given a farm as well, and she has her own farm.
I
so
see.
she has two properties nearby.
Okay, so your mother-in-law has gone into a nursing home, probably will not live in this house again.
No, I would not expect that.
Yeah, okay. All right. And so you're going to move into the farmhouse.
It needs a bit of work, so we could cash flow the renovations. Our income's about $180,000 between the two of us. Plus, we have two small rental properties, and they bring about $37,000 a year.
What's the how much renovation?
I can't picture it being, you could spend a whole ton if you wanted. To make it livable, I'd say probably $20,000.
Well, it was habitable when she left.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's just
More
water.
livable.
Yeah,
There's no water.
Nope, there's water. It would just need a treatment, and as well, because of the condition of the water, maybe some of the bathrooms and the plumbing would need upgraded.
I see. Okay. All right. So how much cash do you guys have?
Well, my husband likes to keep a large emergency fund, so there's enough money there, $65,000 there, plus a few other accounts.
I'm sorry. How much money do you all have?
Oh, all told?
Yeah.
Liquid access, or
Yes.
you just mean?
Yeah, how much cash do you guys have?
Well over $100,000 cash.
Okay.
And then we have about $500,000 in retirement.
Mm-hmm.
And then we own the two rental properties and a lake house for ourselves.
Okay. All right. So the $100,000 includes your a proper emergency fund of 3 to 6 months.
Exactly. Yes, that's in there.
And you guys
as well.
make 180. So if we set 30 aside, you have 70 left. And if you spend 20 on the farmhouse, that only leaves 50 to throw towards your mortgage. Are the other two rental properties paid for?
Yes.
Okay. Are you going to rent your current home?
That's what we're thinking. We're not sure. Do we rent that or do we sell that?
Only if you plan to pay it off very quickly.
Yeah, 2 years is what we were hoping.
Oh, I think about 1 year. Because I'm going to use up all. I'm going to use all your cash.
Okay.
$30,000 emergency fund.
Yep.
Do the renovation. That leaves 50 to throw at the 70. You make 180. You ought to pay off 20 in less than a year.
Okay.
You follow the math?
Really doable.
Yeah, that's very doable. Yeah. And so you end up with 3 rental properties and a paid-for farmhouse, and it's renovated a little bit. You're probably going to renovate it some more as you go along. But you make $180,000 and you have zero debt. At that point, you can renovate it a little more if you want to with cash, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
How many
exactly.
acres?
That sounds 400 acres.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a beautiful piece of property. Legacy. You know, a couple generations have lived there and 3 living generations.
Jackie, that sounds really cool and romantic. Is that where you want to live?
Oh, yeah, I do. I love the property.
Okay.
And we also have a lake home, so we can enjoy, time between both pieces. So,
Okay. All right.
yeah, absolutely.
Just making sure you weren't living his dream and not yours.
No, not at all.
Okay. All right.
Shared, very shared.
It
Yeah.
sounds like a lot of fun. It's beautiful. 400 beautiful acres. Wow. I'm a little jealous. That's amazing.
And Jackie truly represents the most positive stereotype of Canadians that I have ever heard. She is poster child, so kind and nice and pleasant, just an enjoyable person.
She represented her country well.
Well, you hear about the Canadians being the nicest people on the planet, and Jackie is Exhibit A. What a fine lady.
There you go. Easy to get along with.
Yeah, so
we're
great.
moving to the farmhouse. Yep.
She's like, of course I love it, Dave.
Just gotta have no more of that water. That's all. Yeah. That's all I require. She's low maintenance. Very fun. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Hey folks, our event season is in full swing. We would love to have you be part of our events. We have the Total Money Makeover Weekend coming up May 10th and 11th. This is the best of the best. Ken Coleman's going to be speaking on how to get your income up. Dr. John Deloney, how to bring peace and tranquility to your home. Not as much anxiety and stress. Rachel Cruz, George Camel, Jade Washow, Dave Ramsey. We're all going to speak. It's Friday afternoon, evening, down all through Saturday here in Nashville on our campus. You're going to come in maybe not knowing what to do. Maybe know in part what to do, and you're going to leave with an exact plan dialed out to go from broke, in debt, stressed, relationship problems, all the way to leaving with making more money than you've ever made in your life, and your mind showing you how to do that and how to actually become wealthy and get out of debt. And so we're going to cover every bit of that. Bring your reluctant spouse, bring your friend who's been making fun of you, pay for their ticket. They will leave as crazy as you are at that point. And we're going to show you everything to do, every process, every detail. It's a very intense weekend. We're going to have a lot of question and answers, very experiential. We're going to have a lot of fun, a lot of laughter, a lot of tears, and you're going to leave exhausted and completely changed. The Total Money Makeover Weekend, May 10th and 11th. To get tickets, go to RamseySolutions.com/events, and you can learn more and get your tickets right now. The VIP Platinum is sold out. The VIP is there, and there's some platinum there that are not combined, and there's a few other special sippies in there that you can get, and of course general admission is there. But this thing is on track for an early sellout. If you want to come May 10th and 11th, it's less than a month from now. You could come and enjoy the Nashville environment. We're going to have a lot of fun here on the Ramsey campus, and we invite you to be part of it. It's going to be a blast, Ken.
Yeah, it really is. It's an incredible environment when everybody shows up in the room because they want to get better. They want their life to get better, and that creates electricity. I know our team, we're working hard, and it's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Going to be great. We would love to have you. Go to RamseySolutions.com/events. Also, on the following week, about 11 days later, or 10 days later, May 21st and 22nd, I'm going to be doing Dave Ramsey's Investing Essentials as a virtual event, a 2-night virtual event. George Campbell's going to hang out with me as well. We're going to go through the basics of investing, but we're also going to get deep into investing, and I'm going to open my personal playbook, what I do, including what I do with real estate. And I actually own a lot of real estate. This is not a theory for me. So if you want to be part of that, you can check tickets on that as well. This is The Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day, Proverbs 3:6, in all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths. Thomas Sowell says, some of the biggest cases of mistaken identity are among intellectuals who have trouble remembering that they are not God.
Classic passive-aggressive, just mic drop there by Thomas Sowell.
Boom. There he goes. David is in Chicago. Hi, David. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Oh, thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Sure. How can I help?
My question is that I'm trying to do the baby steps. I got myself in a little bit of a quagmire with my debt, mostly real estate investment, but nothing horrible. So I'm trying to apply the baby steps, and I'd like to sell one of my rentals, but I just don't think my tenant is going to be able to relocate, or it's somewhat of a moral quandary. Anything.
Why is your tenant? Why can't your tenant relocate?
I just don't think that she'll be able to get another home, especially one as nice and large as this one, to house her and the kids.
So you're not charging her market rent?
Yeah, it's close. I mean, I could probably charge her more.
So if she's getting close to market rent, why can she not take close to market rent and go rent something else?
I don't think she. I just don't think that it's really available. I think it's really going to put her in a position, and I think she's going.
Why is it not available? Right, you think you have the only house?
No, I don't. But I think she's paying for her mom's rent too, and I've tried to counsel her to maybe they could live together, but I don't think that's I don't think it's available. She's been late and behind. You know how it is as rentals, and I just, like I said.
Well, David, let me ask a question. I'm curious,
Yes,
did you feel this way? Did you have this concern for her before you talked to her about the possibility that you were going to do this?
No, yeah, I did.
Okay. And what was her reaction when you told her that this was a possibility?
I broke it to her a little bit, but not. I really haven't come down.
You didn't answer my question. What was her reaction?
I didn't really say it. I didn't really say anything about selling it. It really hasn't come up yet.
Oh.
I know it's not going to go over well because I don't think she's going to find.
Well, but there's a lot of thinking. You keep
David,
using the word think.
Listen, it is not your job to manage her house.
That's right.
You're her landlord, not her boss. You're not her daddy. And so she's paying almost market rent, so she can take the almost market rent and go rent something else. And if she wants to combine households with her mom, that's completely her business and her problem. It is not your job to manage her life.
Yeah, you're right.
And you're not doing anything wrong to take an asset of yours and say, you don't want to be mean or nasty about it. And if you want to give a little bit more notice, there's nothing on fire here. We're going to, instead of giving you, I don't know, is she on month to month?
She is now. She didn't want to re-sign last summer.
She didn't want to re-sign last summer.
No.
Yeah.
I get a fair amount of renters like that don't want to re-sign.
Yeah.
But they're not committed to you. You don't have to commit to them. The point is, you're not a bad guy.
I think if you said, okay, I'm legally bound by the lack of a lease to give you 1 month's notice, I'm going to give you 3 months.
That's a good compromise.
And that gives you plenty of time to work your way through this. I've appreciated you being our tenant, except for those times that you didn't pay on time. And you don't have to say that, but you're acting like this is some kind of freaking stellar tenant. They don't pay market rent and they don't pay on time. So I missed where I'm excited about this tenant. So,
right.
And that's not being mean. It's just you got really one job when you're a tenant. Well, two, don't tear up the house and pay the rent on time. These are the two jobs you got. Yeah. So it's your job to make sure you're charged market rent. So no, you don't have a moral dilemma at all. You can be kind and you could give more than adequate notice and say, I'm sorry. Gosh, if there's any way I can help you with this, I'll try to help you. But if helping you means you staying in the house past this 90-day mark, that's not the type of help I'm talking about. So, but if there's, if we can assist you in any way, tell you about my friends that have properties, help you find something like that. I appreciate this, but that's what we're going to do. We're going to give you 3 months notice. Listen, she can process this in 3 months. And if she's angry at her landlord who she refused to sign a lease with for giving her 3 months notice, who's only required to give her 1 month notice, that's her fault, not yours. That's her fault. And so
I think this is all about David. He's such a nice guy that
is.
he's worried about a confrontational situation. And we understand that. But this is nothing more than a difficult conversation, and it's not his bag. And I get it. But she's going to be fine just by virtue of she didn't want to sign a deal anyway. She's got options. She knows it could change at any time. David, you're a really good dude, and you're just fretting over a difficult conversation.
And it's going to be over in about 45, 50 seconds. I mean, there's not a lot to it.
Yeah.
It's, hey, going to be selling the house. I'm going to be sending you a note in the mail. So we make it formal that, July 1st, we're going to be done, August 1st, whatever it is. And I'm giving you plenty of time. You have a 30-day right, but I'm going to give you 90 days just because you've been here a while and I want to be kind. And thanks. That's it. I'm done.
That's really it.
I really don't have to have a big, long thing here. It's not a whole bunch of feelings. It's. I've had landlords in my life, and none of them had any feelings for me.
That's right.
None of them did. I never had one that did that. And if you get a situation like we had one time that a guy got a terminal cancer diagnosis.
Oof.
And he's got 4 months to live, and he lost his job because he lost his health, and his wife had 3 little kids at home and all this. And so, we just didn't charge him rent. Right. We let him live there and let her live there after he passed for a little while. I mean, we worked with him, but that can't go on for 8 years either.
No.
Even that, is a period of time we can have some grace and mercy with somebody in that situation. But just simply, they're going to have to move. That's, this lady, she really just got to move. I mean, that's why you want to be an owner when you can be. And not in a stupid way. Don't go buy something you can't afford because I'm afraid my landlord's going to do that. Oh, by the way, if you don't have to move, sign a lease. Hello. Then if he had a 1-year contract, then he'd have to honor that morally, ethically, legally, everything at that point. So there's the process. And here's the other thing. Those of you that are thinking of owning real estate, you need to have a policy of raising the rent every single year. Because I've been doing real estate for about 40 years, and rents have gone up every single year. And the people that I know that get stuck in situations like this, they don't raise the rent for 5 years because it's a nice person and they pay on time and they cut the grass real in a little pattern, and then we just love them. And you don't raise the rent for 5 years, and suddenly you've got a way below market situation, and then you try to raise the rent and they have a fit like they think they're the owner. Mm-hmm. So it's really good. It just keeps the relationship accurately defined when we raise the rent, even if it's a little bit.
What's the Dave Ramsey way on that? Do you look at the market and then just undercut it a bit?
We look at the market and we go, if they've been with us a long time, it's a little under market.
Okay.
But not, don't take it all the way to the max plus some. Been there 1 year, we just take it up to market. If they've been there 5 years, we tell them when they come in too.
Right.
Next year, rents are going to be higher, and just expect. Go ahead and know.
Yeah.
And that way they're not shocked. Like what? What?
Right.
I don't understand. What do you mean what? Rents are going up. And so if you don't have that pattern, you set an entitlement expectation in place, and it creates real serious problems later. It's a real bad idea. That puts this hour of the Ramsey Show in the books. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.